Hi, this is Cousin Russ. Today I thought I'd share with you a tip that I have found very helpful in dealing with shaky leaves. We know what they are. So let me start and show you what I have, that's the step that works for me. I'll go to the Family Tree Maker program, the plant space as usual, and I'm going to go to the people workspace, and I have a shaky leaf here. Now I've got a bunch of shaky leaves, but what I have found is if I work with a certain record group, I can get through a bunch of these shaky leaves at one time. Now, nothing that the Family Tree Maker gives us uh, doesn't give us any tools to do this, but I think I stumbled upon something that works for me. What I did find that if I work with a certain set of record groups, like let's take for an example, the Social Security Death Index, I know what I need to do for data entry. I worked it out. I have explained some of this before, and I use Evernote to back me up. But in the past about 2 hours, I've been able to capture about 25 Social Security Death Index hits from the shaky leaves. Now, what I did is that I uploaded this family file to an ancestry member tree that I'm only going to use it for hints. It's private, it's not searchable, can't find it. Now, so let me go over to the ancestry member tree, and I selected all hints, and you can see I have 661 hints. That's far too many for me. So, well, what I did is that I have worked through the alphabet, and I'll go through R's. I keep and remember that I am only going to deal with Social Security Death Index records. So I'm now scrolling everybody whose last name is R until I come to a Social Security Death Index record. And I have one right here. So that tells me who has the record, who has a hint in Family Tree Maker that deals with a Social Security Death Index. So I'm going to go back over to Family Tree Maker, and I'm going to go to the people workspace for that person with the hint for the Social Security Death Index. If I hover over the leaf and click on it, there are 4 ancestry found hits, and I'm going to come over to the web search workspace, which when I clicked on the leaf took me there, and there is the Social Security Death Index record. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do, and maybe nobody else will do this, is I'm going to capture in a screen capture program that I use. I'm going to capture that screen that's right here because I'm going to use that I'm going to put in my file, make it private, but I did a screen capture of this. And now I'm going to do a merge. Now I know that this is my person because that's when she was born and that's when she died, and every place is the right location. And I cheated. I looked earlier to make sure. So what I'm going to do is now do the web merge. So I'm going to click on merge, and it gives me some choices, and I'm going to keep that as her preferred name. I'm going to keep that as the preferred birth date and location. Now I'm going to change this from discard to keep it because that's what the Social Security Death Index record told me. And I'm going to change the death location to be Exton, Pennsylvania, which is where she died. That's the probably the hospital where I got that information from someplace else, but I'll come back and get more details as I go on. But I want to make that the preferred fact, and I click next, and now I'm going to merge that record directly into Family Tree Maker. Now, I've talked about this before, not on a video recording, but the citation information that comes in from Ancestry does not meet my needs. So I'm going to the Sources workspace, and there is that record that just came in. And this information is not in the evidence explained format. What I need to put in here, and this is by working with a series of the same record type, I found it so much easier because now, without thinking about it, I know what goes into the citation field. Now, I've showed you this before, and I'll show it again. So in the if I edit the source record, I will see down here, as soon as the screen comes in, I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. It'll be on the evidence explained template screen. It says enter entry for and the name, the year it was issued, Social Security number and access. So this information I know that needs to be in these fields. So I'm going to go to the right record, and I know that I need to type in entry for Margaret. And now what I'm going to do now is the trick that I learned for dealing with this. I'm going to type in parentheses, and it probably should be a bracket, but so far I learned how to spell. I'm going to put in parentheses her birth surname, and then all it calls for is the year that it was entered, that it was issued, SS number. Now I can, now there was no number that came in with that record. So I have decided that what I'm going to record is no SS number in curly brackets, in square brackets, so that I know that there was nothing on that record accessed. So that tells me when I accessed it, because it's an online database, and I'm going to cut that from here, and I'm going to paste it down here in the citation text, because what I'm going to put in the citation text is issue, state, and it was Pennsylvania. I can get rid of the rest of this because it was copied and pasted. So basically, I have the information, but not in the template format. I'm going to come up here on the pull-down menu, and the pull-down menu will give me the template for Social Security Death Index. So now it is in the Social Security Death Index format. And what I'm also going to do is to remember that image I just copied. I'm going to go over here to the media workspace. I'm going to click on new. And there's a screen popped up that asks me where it was, and I happen to know that it is right here. That file name makes no sense at all, and it doesn't matter because I'm going to rename it here in shortly. But I'm going to put this image into a category called SSDI. That's where all of my Social Security Death Index images go. Now, and it's getting there. Now, I'm not going to check the citation text box. I'm not going to check the web address. What I am going to do, as soon as the media file is attached, that I'm going to then right-click in the reference note box, click Select All, and then right-click and copy. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste the citation right into the description for this image. So this image has the citation on it. And what I have found to do in here is type in the person's name. And if you see that I have her name down here, so I don't really have to think about it. I have it right in front of me. Now, for this purpose, I do not put her, I keep all my images, file names by birth surname. So the caption for this image is her full name dash Social Security Death Index, because that's what the image is. Now, I want to see that image. I don't want it to go out. So I'm going to mark that image private. So that image is now private. When I update my online database, that image will not be included in that update. So it's now taking care of that for me. And as soon as I get control back, I'm going to rename that file to something that makes sense for me, so I can look at it with Windows Explorer if I need to find the file name, because I do have a file naming scheme that I use. And just so you're aware, the software that I use to help record this takes up a fair amount of resources on my computer, making the response time a little bit more than what I would like. And there we go, I'm back. Now, I want to rename that file. So I'm going to right-click on that image and rename it. And my file naming convention, you may remember that I have this all written in Evernote, SSDI dash surname underscore first name, and no space in her middle name. So I click OK. So now this citation is in evidence explained format. Now I need to go into the database, into her person record, to make sure everything is correct. So I click on links, and I click on her name, and the citation is right there. Now, while I'm here, I'm going to click on this second image on those sources so that I can copy that citation, because there's a citation that's not here I want to pick up. So remember I said there was no Social Security number? Well, there isn't. But what there was a state of issue. It tells me what state it was issued. And by the way, I'm going to click on Add, Paste Link Citation, and I did that because my citation now is right here, and if I hover over it, it will be there, and it says that it was issued in 1951 in the state of Pennsylvania. If I learn how to spell P, there it is. So it was, and I have marked this fact as private. So there wasn't an issue in 1951 in the state of Pennsylvania. There was no Social Security number. So basically, I am now done. But I have one more thing that I want to do now. I went to the notes workspace and the second tab, which is the research note. And I'm going to put in 10.0.5.14 dash hints SSDI. And I'm going to make that a bullet. I did that so I can remember this is my research log. This is the first time I've come to her on the research log, but I have a research log entry that says that I found a Social Security death index today. And so the bottom line here is the tip that I'm sharing with you is that I found it so much easier if I work with a certain record group. And like I said, I did about 25 of these Social Security death index records in a matter of about 2 hours, just by getting in the rhythm of dealing with that record group. And I'm up to the letter R, and I started with A, but I used as my source of my work list. I got my work list from the hints that are in my ancestry member tree, and I did it by letter. So it just let me keep track of where I was. So my work list all the hints are here, but I don't care about the other hints. I want to care about the Social Security death index records. So when I finish with the Social Security death index records, I will change to another record group like family or find a grave. I will go through records that I haven't done. I hope that's helpful. It has worked for me. I appreciate any comments that you might have of what works for you. Maybe this one won't work for you, but it sure has helped me. Once I understand the record that I'm dealing with, understand what the requirements of evidence explained is, what information I want to capture, then I can work through it. And I have about 50, let's see what the actual number is. I have 40 death index records, all in evidence explained, all with images. When I accessed them, I have research log of these. So I hope it helps you. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave a comment on the blog, the Cousin Russ genealogy group on Google+. Thank you. Have a great day.